Before the 2023 NBA season began, the trash talk already started. I mean, the face of ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, went on live television and told the entire world that Kuminga wasn't ready, that his head wasn't in the right place, and that his work ethics weren't there. When I heard that, I facepalmed myself and said, "Oh boy, here we go. You just poked the bear." That video got close to 1 million views or something, and trust me when I say that Kuminga heard it. Now, how do I know that, you may ask? That's a fair question. I mean, I don't have insider information. I'm not a Warriors employee, although I would like to be, and I don't have Kuminga's cell number on speed dial. Well, the truth is, I don't need any of that, because if I had to be perfectly honest, what Stephen A. Smith said wasn't completely wrong. But honestly, it's kind of hard to believe him sometimes. I mean, I watch First Take every single day, and half the time I'm asking myself, does this dude really believe the words that are coming out of his own mouth? I mean, he's the guy who got 6 finals predictions wrong in a row? But anyway, that's another story for another day. There were some merits to what he said about Kuminga, and the numbers do back it up. So I guess he was telling some truths that day, because look here. These are the statistics for his first 15 games this season. 5.6 points a ball game, 2.3 rebounds, 0.8 assists, 38% shooting from the floor, 24% from three-point range. If I saw these stats for a fantasy basketball player of mine, do you know what I'd do? I'm not kidding when I say I'd hit the drop button immediately. I wouldn't even think about it twice. I mean, in the lingo of a hardcore basketball fanatic, those are some quote-unquote bum numbers. And the Warriors organization seemed to have had the same opinion. As a result of his lackluster performance to start the season, Steve Kerr had no choice but to send Kuminga to the one place every basketball player dreads: the bench. His minutes were restricted, and he even had a few DNPs. Steph Curry himself said at that time Kuminga should be pissed for being relegated to the bench. And honestly, that was very kind of Kerr to just send him to the bench, because those numbers are so bad that honestly, if a player averaged these statistics throughout an entire season, I'd go to a bank, take out as much money as I possibly could, then mortgage my house, and then bet everything that he'd be out of the league next season. And if anyone bets against that, they'd probably have the same expression as this dude here. Anyway, I'm getting a bit off track here. Back to Kuminga. As the season was rolling on, I was face-palming myself from his mishaps and misplays, but then, out of nowhere, I saw him dunking on Tatum. And then I saw him dunking on Desmond Bane. And then I saw him soaring through the air game after game after game and slamming the ball down with ferociousness. And then I said to myself, Kuminga has arrived. He clearly heard the chatter and said enough is enough. So at about this time, I took another look at his statistics because, well, while people may lie, while the media may be biased, while some reporters may be delusional, numbers are numbers. And with that being said, check this out. Ever since the clock struck midnight to end the 2022 calendar year, look at what Kuminga has been putting up. 10.5 points, about 3 rebounds and 3 assists, 54% shooting from the floor, 39% shooting from three-point range. Those are literally the efficiencies of a star player. I mean, to do a quick comparison, I know the overall numbers aren't there, but when it comes to just basic shooting percentages, he's doing better than Damian Lillard, for Pete's sake. Say it with me, guys. 1, 2, 3. Sheesh! Also recently, when I look towards the coaching staff on the bench, I can tell they're a lot happier with what Kuminga's been doing recently too. Because look, this is Steve Kerr's face with Kuminga's old numbers. And this is Steve Kerr's face with Kuminga's new numbers. Can you see the difference in his expression? Old numbers, new numbers. Old numbers, new numbers. Then, on top of the numbers that we all love looking at, he's doing the intangibles as well. I'm talking about the other side of the court, defense. On a nightly basis, Kuminga is taking on the task of guarding the opposing team's best player and making life a living nightmare for them. Against the OKC Thunder, Kuminga took on the job of defending one of the most lethal scorers in today's game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA tried to put some moves on Kuminga to get some separation, but look at that. There was no separation at all as Kuminga forced Shea into a tough mid-range shot that he'll make like 2 times out of 10. Here's another example. Jordan Clarkson tries to attack Kuminga on the perimeter, but what happens? He gets completely gobbled up in Kuminga's defense and gasps for air. As he gets better and better on this end of the court, I'm excited to see how the Warriors' defensive ratings will improve, because with him, Wiggins, Draymond, and Klay on the floor, that's Clam City, baby. Anyway, I need to show you one more defensive play here, because honestly, I've never seen this before. I mean, I didn't think this was possible until I saw it, and honestly, it completely baffled me. Here's what I'm talking about. Kuminga's on the perimeter guarding Anthony Edwards. In case you didn't know, Edwards is a borderline superstar for the Timberwolves and is one of the more athletic players in the league. So, Edwards first uses a screen to get rid of Kuminga, then a secondary screen is set in place to help him get rid of the second defender. At this point, Edwards saw a clear lane to the basket and drove because he thought he was going to get an easy bucket. But sheesh, guys, out of nowhere, Kuminga leaps into the air and swats the ball away like Edwards is a high school kid or something. To recover from the perimeter like that, after getting screened, then flying into the air shouldn't be physically possible. The Timberwolves, well, they couldn't believe it either. I mean, Ant-Man was holding his hands up saying that was unfair, Austin Rivers was signaling that it was goaltending, but if you watch it in slow motion, all one could say is,
"You're right, that's a 5th floor problem."
Not in my house.
That's right. No is all we can say with regards to that play. And with that being said, I'm sure you can see why I titled this video, Jonathan Kuminga Finally Did It. I mean, whether or not it's dunking the ball, shooting it, posting someone up, or defense, he's finally developing into his lottery potential. And that's something that people can't deny anymore. I still cannot believe the Warriors got him and Wiggins for D'Lo. I thought theft was illegal, but I guess not. Anyway, what's frightening is the fact that there's still lots and lots of games left this season. And as we all know, the human flamethrower, Steph Curry, recently got injured and will be sidelined for several weeks. And naturally, what that means is more minutes divided amongst the rest of the guys. Can you imagine what'll happen with the development of Kuminga over the course of what's left in the regular season? Yes. There's going to be more poster dunks on unsuspecting victims. There's no denying that because it's what he was born to do. But imagine his consistency of three-point shooting improves. Imagine his free throw percentage hitting about the high 70s to 80s. Imagine if his understanding of Kerr's motion offense improves. Or imagine he goes up against the Grizzlies and someone like Dylan Dynasty Brooks trash talks him and makes him angry. Sheesh, guys. I can't wait for that to happen because I'm gonna do a whole video on it. But the point is, what an unfair advantage it is for the Warriors because they still got their 6 championship core members. And then to add someone of Kuminga's caliber who's only getting better and better with each passing game. You know what I just realized? No wonder why the referees are always against Golden State. Otherwise, it'd just be complete domination if they called the games fairly. I mean, if they did call the games fairly, the Warriors starters would just be sipping on pina coladas in the 4th quarter like they did back in 2016. Anyway, I've lingered a bit long on this topic of Kuminga finally doing it, but you know what I can't wait for? This video probably won't come out for another month or 2, but I can't wait to release this one.